Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to have you here today. The story we're covering in this video is not only surprising, it's emotional, complex, and filled with unanswered questions. We're talking about an unexpected decision, a public statement, and the ripple effect that followed. At the center of it all, Yağmur and Barış, two names that have stirred a wave of speculation across social media and in the world of entertainment. Let's break it down. It started like any other week until suddenly, headlines exploded with the news that Yağmur had left the country. The reason? A statement made by Barış. And from that moment on, nothing felt ordinary anymore. Bar, in a recent interview, had shared something seemingly simple. "I'm very happy with my wife." A calm, direct sentence, but one that triggered a whirlwind of reactions. What many initially saw as a standard comment about his marriage to Barış became, in some circles, a much deeper signal, especially when it coincided with Yağmur's sudden departure. So, what exactly happened? According to sources close to the situation, Yağmur was deeply affected by Bar's words. The specifics remain unclear, but people familiar with both parties suggest that the comment, though not directly aimed at her, was felt by her in a deeply personal way. And instead of staying and responding, she chose silence and distance. Literally, she left the country. That decision left many people shocked. Why would a woman like Yağmur, successful, admired, and loved by thousands, feel the need to put physical space between herself and a single comment? It's a question many are still asking, and maybe that's what makes this story so compelling. Because it's not just about a relationship, or a quote, or a misunderstanding. It's about the things that are said out loud and the many things that aren't. It's about timing, context, history, and emotion. It's about how one sentence spoken in public can feel like a door closing for someone who might have been waiting for it to open. The media, of course, had a field day. There were headlines, speculation, blurry photos of Yağmur at the airport, and endless theories about what really happened behind the scenes. Some say there was a deeper connection between her and Bar. Some claim that they shared more than just a professional bond, that there were emotions that never quite had the space to grow. Others believe this was all blown out of proportion, that Yağmur's decision had more to do with personal growth, change, or a desire for peace. But here's the thing, we don't really know. And maybe we're not supposed to, because sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones we can't fully explain. What we do know is this: Yağmur left, and she did so without a statement, without drama, and without turning the situation into a spectacle. That in itself says a lot. It says strength. It says grace. And it says that not everything needs to be explained. Meanwhile, Bar has continued his public life as usual. He hasn't commented on Yağmur's departure. He hasn't clarified or changed his original statement. He hasn't fed the media frenzy. And that silence? It's loud, because silence often speaks volumes. Fans, of course, have had mixed reactions. Some support Yağmur completely, admiring her for stepping away from a situation that clearly affected her. Others have criticized her, saying her reaction was too extreme for a comment that wasn't even about her. But maybe it's not about the comment. Maybe it's about what the comment confirmed: that a chapter was really over, that a possibility that once seemed open is now officially closed. We may never know the full story, and maybe we're not meant to. But what we can do is reflect on how personal words become public moments, how people process emotion in different ways, and how important it is to choose both our words and our silences carefully. There's no telling what Yağmur's next move will be. Maybe she'll take time off. Maybe she'll pursue opportunities abroad. Maybe this moment will be the beginning of a new journey, one built not on what others say, but on what she decides for herself. And as for Bar, only time will tell whether he'll choose to address what happened or keep moving forward in his usual quiet style. Either way, this moment has left an impact, a reminder that even in the glamorous world of media and celebrity, the simplest human emotions, disappointment, sadness, hope, still matter the most. Sometimes, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about who hurts, who heals, and who walks away when staying would hurt more. And maybe that's the part of the story that hits the hardest, not what was said, But what wasn't? All the words that might have been spoken in private. All the conversations that never made it past the surface. All the feelings that couldn't be explained without risking too much. Because sometimes it's easier to stay quiet than to say something that might change everything. And that silence, it echoes louder than most words ever could. What Yağmur's story shows us is that people will do whatever they can to protect their peace. Sometimes that means stepping back from people they love. Sometimes that means walking away without burning bridges, without explanations, without blaming anyone. Just choosing peace over confusion. It's not weakness. It's self-awareness. It's knowing when you've reached your limit. Some fans think she'll come back stronger. Others believe this might be her final chapter in the Turkish spotlight. But wherever she lands, it's clear she's not running away, she's simply choosing a path that feels safer for her heart. And that takes courage. We often think of strength as loud, bold, defiant. But real strength is quiet. It's still. It's steady. It's saying no when your heart's begging for a yes. It's letting go of what you wish could be, in favor of what you need to be. That's what Yağmur did. And what about Bar? Is he the villain? The victim? Or just someone who said how he felt, unaware of the storm it would stir in someone else? That's the thing, we don't always know the weight our words carry until they land. Until they hit someone in the exact place they were trying to heal. He didn't say anything cruel. He didn't expose anyone. But even kind truths can hurt, depending on who's listening. Maybe he was just being honest. Maybe he didn't know Yağmur still had unspoken feelings. Maybe, in another life, they might have had a different ending. But this is the story we're living now. And it's a reminder that closure isn't always mutual. That sometimes, one person moves on while another is left standing still, wondering when exactly things started to fall apart. But healing doesn't happen in symmetry. It happens in silence, in distance, in time. So wherever Yağmur is right now, maybe staring out at a new skyline, or sipping coffee far from the noise of cameras and questions, I hope she's finding that healing. I hope she's remembering who she is without the shadows of what might have been. And for anyone watching this who's ever walked away quietly, who's ever needed space to breathe, to think, to feel again, know that you're not alone. We don't always get the ending we wanted, but sometimes we get something better. The space to begin again. So let this story sit with you, not as gossip, but as a glimpse into what it means to be human in a world that often forgets public figures have private hearts. Let it remind you to speak kindly, to listen carefully, and to never assume you know the full story based on a headline or a soundbite. Because behind every decision, there's a heart. Behind every silence, there's a reason. And behind every departure, there's a story that only one person truly understands. Thank you so much for watching, for staying with me through this emotional story. If you felt something while listening, if it reminded you of someone or something you've been through, go ahead and leave a comment. Let's hold space for each other. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support our work even more, hit the join button down below. I'll be back soon with more stories like this, stories that aren't just news, but reflections of what it means to feel, to care, and to grow. Until then, be kind to others, but most importantly, be kind to yourself. See you in the next video.